Picks and Parlay family, it's me, Detroit Lenny, here to talk a little action for Friday. What is today? Friday, September 6th? Yes, 6th. Holy moly, we got some stuff going on today. We got some action. I wish we had Mac action. I wish we had that. I wish. Something on my glasses. I'm going to let everybody file in for a moment. We're going to talk some Thursday Night Football. Boy, I was on the Ravens, right? That big-toed son of a biscuit. The Ravens didn't deserve to win that game. Not even a little bit. That offensive line is a problem. It's going to be a problem for all season. It's horrible. It's bad. And they ain't got nothing. But that Chiefs defense is legit. I think that Chiefs defense is legit. I was on the under. I was wrong on that. Teaser came through strong. Thank God he had a big-ass toe. Because Teaser came through Baltimore +9 and under 53 was a teaser that cashed. That was pretty nice for us yesterday. We kind of split on the game in general looking at yesterday. I mean, we had the -120 teaser. We lost the Derrick Henry props. He only had 46 rushing yards at over 63.5, and I had that over receiving yard prop. Brian Gillihan, I think he gave that to us. Gotta watch him. Isaiah Pacheco, anytime touchdown. Cash. Under 46.5. Oh, you see what I did there? Cash. Under 46.5. I was hoping for a thumbs down. Baltimore +3. Down. What saved us, the saving grace was a damn F around and find out kicker prop. +233, I got that at. Justin Tucker over 1.5 made field goals. And Harrison Buckner, Buckner? I don't know if I'm saying it. Whatever. Over 1.5 made field goals as well, +233. That's nice. So the end of the day, as far as that went, I came out ahead $83. So just under a unit. That's how I felt about that. That was enough for me to get involved and see who's who. I now know, I feel like what I can expect from the Chiefs on a regular. Baltimore's defense is okay. It's pretty good, I think, and holding them 27 points, I think you're going to get that about the Chiefs a lot. I don't think they're going to hit 30s a lot, but I think you're going to get what you saw yesterday out of them. I think this is what you're going to see out of both teams a lot of. I think we learned a lot last night. So good news is our one teaser. This one's still in the running. Ravens +10. Check mark. Packers 9.5. We're looking for that tonight. And then we got the Commanders +10.5. That'll kick us to 126. That's the one we've been riding all week. So let's get in after it. Picksandparlays.net's where you get all premium plays. Every handicapper you want over there, use that promo code right there. I'll save you 20% off your entire purchase as well. Why is this like that? Oh, I know why. Not right there. Whatever. Password to all contests. The NFL contest is starting. Hopefully the link works. It should in this. Oops. Hold on. We got to do it for the likes, people. You guys got to get this stuff going. I see 20 people liking. We need the likes. I don't know if you guys know this, but this is why we do this. We shake the ass for the likes. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, ring the bell for notifications. You'll never miss any of our free content over here at picksandparlays.net. I want to see, and the YouTube channel as well. Sorry. I want to see some more like action. You don't like it, move on. The NFL contest link, though, is working. I know that for sure. But your contest, we got 30 people in that contest. It's a week to week. I'm going to keep track of the season long as well. I want to see what we're doing on a season basis. But week to week winners. Week to week winners. You better get in over there. All the prizes, the rules, everything's over there. You follow that. It's free to sign up. This is the password to all contests. Share it. The more, the merrier. You got to have, I think, your picks in by like an hour or two before kickoff or something like that. Or I don't know. It's in there. It's over there. That's why we do it over there. So Lenny doesn't have to know all that stuff. I just want to be involved. I want to play. So I'm going to play. I'm in. I'm in. So you want to test your skills? Go over there. Come whoop my ass. I'll let you, boy. I'm going to win it. Oh, also, I entered another contest. Me. All by myself. It's Pick 8 contest. It's on another, through some people I know. It's Pick 8 Moneyline NFL winners from Sunday. Pick 8. All 8. Just 8. Moneyline winners. No spread. No whatever. Got to go 8-0 to win. If nobody goes 8-0, carries over. Week to week to week to week to week to week to week. I think there's about 25, 30 people in there. So I'm interested in that. I want to take off with that. So we'll moving forward, week 1, we're figuring out our schedule and our life here, week 1. But yeah, we're going to 28 people have made their picks. Oh man. All right, so in the NFL contest, Captain Brian at Kansas City. I can already see. I'm not going to show you who has what, but 1, 2, 3, 4 people had Baltimore last night. King Adams, Tommy Kidd, whoever the hell Scuba Steve is, and freaking Rakin. Oh, Craig Trapp. I gotta remind him to play. But yeah, get in over there. I'm looking at this right now. Speak of the devil. Speak of the devil. See how he just appears and shit? It's like Beetlejuice. You know the new Beetlejuice is coming out? You can't say Craig Trapp's name 3 times. This is what happens. He just appears backstage. So hold on. What do you want? Did I say your name too many times? You just appear? Is
no, that what happened? I was coming to vent, you know, as a handicapper, as a bettor.
You were on the Ravens?
I mean,
big toe dude screwed us all up.
I have a ceiling that's like, I don't know, 25 foot, you know, at the peak. I felt like I hit it when I jumped out of my seat and got all excited.
I jumped right out of my chair. I was like, oh, let's go Ravens.
Like, think about it. People, I mean, that switched so much. First of all, a lot of people pushed of the total. Yeah. So the overs, which of course would have been a big loser for the book. A lot of people were on the overs. I think it's 62% of the bet. I think I saw, yeah. or 62% of the amount wagered, not the bets. I think the bets were actually higher. But anyway, and of course they would have had maybe to pay out money lines because they were going for 2. And
they were for sure going for 2. Yeah, you saw him mouth that. Yeah. And I was one of those people that I got my line early. I had 46.5. I haven't complained about it yet, but I had 46.5. I lost my under.
That Chiefs defense was tired too. I mean, they were really tired on that possession.
I talked to Scott Steen, our one of our experts here, picture
Chiefs guy.
parlays earlier, Chiefs guy.
He's not the Chiefs guy that's going to jail for 17 and a half years. He's not the ultimate.
I just watched that last night. Yeah. First of all, with the werewolf thing.
Big fan. ESPN. Yeah. Big fan, but not that guy. Not that guy. Scott
Steen. We call him Huggy Bear Steen around here, but a Chiefs fan. And he said that they were going to lose that. If that was a touchdown, they were never going to stop that 2-point conversion. He goes, we would have lost 28-27.
I always say you can stop a second 2-point conversion, but everybody has one 2-point play that's like, unless they just, throw it into the ground or something, like they're probably going to score. It's that one you've been practicing for freaking probably 3 months now, 2 months, ever since training, a month and a half.
Right.
So they were going to score there. But either way, I had them +3, so I was going to.
I was talking about the NFL contest that we have going on. There's links in the description video and all that. A couple people had Baltimore last night. A couple people had Kansas City. I thought that was a ballsy play. But the line locked in on the contest at 2.5. That was the locked in line. So
I
make a case either way.
I try not to watch the talking head shows because I think it distorts you as a handicapper and as a bettor.
It totally leans you one way. Yeah.
But after that last night, I just was like, I just needed sound on while I was making my picks for today and even looking at the weekend stuff. And people were saying like how good the Chiefs were. I was like, I actually thought the other way. The Ravens, they turned the ball over in their end of the territory.
Yeah.
Their penalties, I kind of thought they got kind of screwed on some of their penalties. I thought they were pretty nitpicky on some of those penalties in the first half.
Yeah. You could say that for every Chiefs game. I think.
Well, I just thought
hater love.
Like when you have a guy that's like it's the lined up thing. To me, like you watch some teams, they line them up 3 yards off the tackles will line up, and they never call anything, and it was like they were calling it. So anyway, I actually thought the Ravens played pretty poorly and still probably should have won that game or at least had a chance to win there. I mean, he missed 2 guys that were wide open on first and second down. I mean, those are plays that – if it's Patrick Mahomes.
I think Flowers in the back of the end zone, 2 plays before that one.
And I don't know if that was his fault. Like, that was on second down.
I don't know either, but there was some – they were week one. They were not on the same page.
I think he should have settled in the open zone there. So I actually kind of think the wide receiver kind of – like he should have just slowed down there and then it would have been
kind of
but either way, he like whipped it. I'm like, dude was so wide open, you didn't need to do that. Like you could have just lobbed it in there and then he could have made the adjustment on the ball, but he threw it so hard it was behind him.
And I think that's why the press conferences after the game, a lot of the Ravens fans saying if this is all the Chiefs have, we'll be okay in the postseason.
I will say the Chiefs, though, they're missing their running back that's out the first 4 games with the PTSD. Mm-hmm. They're also, I mean, Travis Kelce, I at some point he's going to slow down. So is this maybe his slowdown year because they didn't really target him much, or was he just a decoy a lot? But I will say this: the Chiefs worthy, dude. That dude is fast.
That dude's a problem.
He's not Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill with the ball can really make guys miss and everything. But I mean, just straight end speed, the guy is fast. And you give a guy like Patrick Mahomes like that.
Yeah. Who's got a cannon? That's why we love Jameson Williams in Detroit. Same kind of speed like that. Yeah. Just get him the ball in the open field and he's gone. No one's catching him.
Rice looked good, but I mean, he's probably going to miss at some point. They're going to let the legal system, which is crazy how sometimes they let the legal systems play out and other times they suspend players before they. I mean, we know he did it. So I don't understand what you like. Are you going to say, well, if he goes to jail, then we don't have to worry about suspending him? Or I mean, what? I don't understand what he was.
I don't know what we're doing.
Cause a bad wreck. Suspend him whatever you're going to do, 3 or 4 games. And if you're a Chiefs, wouldn't you rather have it at the beginning of the year than what if this happens?
I'd rather have it now.
And then they suspend him for the rest of the year, and then you don't know what like getting him ready for the playoffs. So I don't know. That would be the worry there. The offensive line I thought looked good. They had what they lose the defensive back.
Yes,
I thought their defense, their secondary, I didn't think was a bad. Now, granted, when the Ravens' offensive line is going to be their issue all year, guys that like Jones that can rush the passer are going to be an issue against them. Those 3 new offensive linemen.
That offensive line for Baltimore is. I know they're young, and I know they haven't been together that long and all that, but they better hurry up because they're going to get.
I just thought they should have moved him a little more, like Lamar a little more, because to me, it was like they just basically dropped him back. Every once in a while,
dropped him back, and then maybe he scrambled, maybe he didn't.
I mean, that's when he makes his best plays, I guess, is the argument. But especially if he can roll him out to his strong arm, to his left hand, I just think they should have done that a little more.
Well, I think that's what Patrick Mahomes too. When they roll him up, when he scrambles, he plays backyard football with Travis
better
Kelce.
than anybody. Better than anybody.
Better than anybody, right? Lamar doesn't have nobody to play backyard ball with. That's the problem.
I think Flowers kind of has that in him. It's just I don't think Lamar Jackson is a great passer. I mean, I just think he's a good passer, and he's not a great. I mean, that's why he missed 2 guys. I mean, he missed the guy on first and second down. If that's Patrick Mahomes, those are 2 touchdowns, and they win the game. I mean, that's the difference. Now, granted, Patrick Mahomes isn't doing some of the stuff Lamar can do with his legs, as far as taking off down the field to get you 20, 30 yards. But I don't know. I thought it was a great game. I'm hoping tonight's game in Brazil, we'll see just as good a game.
I hope so.
I'm a little worried just because, what's the environment going to be? I always think the London games kind of and the Germany games kind of stink.
Yeah,
because
I just think I don't know if either team's prepared for the amount of humidity that they're going to get in Brazil. I mean, it's humid in Philly.
I just worry about the feel of the game, because I always think the games across the pond, as I call the across the pond games, are like kind of like, it's like going to the French Open or something. It's like,
golf clap. Yeah, no, I think this is going to be more Mexico City, like the soccer kind of just loud, just obnoxiously loud. I'm not saying I've never been to a live like soccer match like that. It's a fear, love, hate relation. I would love to go, but my anxiety says there's no way you put me in the middle of all those people.
I mean, isn't it kind of funny that you're not allowed wearing green in their stadium because that's their rivals' team, and they pick 2 green teams to play there?
Yeah, how do you pick the Green Bay Packers, the Green Bay Packers, and the Philadelphia Eagles? Oh, look, I got a thumbs up.
Couldn't you have done? I think the Eagles have black uniforms and the Packers have white uniforms. Couldn't you have done black and white?
Either way, they're green accents. Wear green.
They're both green accents, but
yeah.
But the Eagles had the choice, I guess, to which uniforms to wear, and they were like, "We're not going to jinx it and wear green." I mean, like,
we're not doing that. They're going to wear their black unis, and it would have been great if Green Bay could have wore like all yellow or something.
It just. I mean, I was looking down through the schedule, and I don't know how the NFL chooses who's going to lose a home game. Because obviously that's significant revenue. Now, I will say, there's teams.
The ticket holders too.
Some teams have 9 home games, some have 8. So, like, I guess there's already a disparity. But I mean, I think it like rotates. So, like, one year you have 9, next year you have 8. But like, I don't know how do they compensate these teams that go to like these, where you?
I don't know how they pick that, or like what. I don't know if they did a poll in Brazil of said who you want to see in the NFL game, and somebody picked Philadelphia. I don't understand that.
What do you think of the NFL game or the college football games tonight? I actually think these are actually 2 decent games.
I like the only game I really, really like tonight is the Northwestern game.
I like Duke there.
See, I'm on the. I don't.
I like that Malik Murphy, I think is his name, the quarterback that transferred from Texas. He looked pretty good when yours went down last year. I mean, if you remember, they didn't lose any games. And now, granted, they weren't playing a whole lot, but like, I don't know. It's like when you play a team. If you say, hey, you get to this, you win the game. Was it like 16 points? If you get to 16 to 17 points, you win this game.
Yeah.
And I think that Duke's got the better offense.
I don't know, because we got a new coach. We got all kinds of new stuff. Where Northwestern's returning all kinds of starters.
The Jordan Moore,
you know what I mean? That's got to count for something.
The Jordan Moore kid, the receiver from Duke, will probably be first team all league. I mean, he's legit. I don't understand why he didn't leave Duke, to be very honest. Unless he's like, hey, I'm thinking about after football, and obviously a degree at Duke means a lot more than a degree at
means way more than
maybe. But it's like, I think this dude could play pretty much anywhere in the SEC as maybe not like number 1 guy, but he would be first or second. And he would got paid. So unless Duke just poured out some money. And then Murphy kid, I think, is like if he would have stayed at Texas, he would still be the number 2 quarterback, and Manning would be 3rd. That's how good I think this Murphy kid is. So that's why I kind of picked him. Now, this wasn't my better play is on that I got to play in the SMU and BYU game. And I always say BYU is so hit or miss. They're amazing usually at home, and they're usually terrible on the road. So can they flip the script this year? I don't know. That's like a lot to ask, I would say.
I kind of like I don't have a lot going. I'm on that, and I think I'm on the under in that game. I'm on the under 38.5. I don't feel a whole lot about that game as far as that Northwestern game. I don't like it at all. I'm on more of the NFL stuff. Dabbling.
The NFL always worries me though.
Hold on. I want your thoughts where I got you before you talk any more football. Are the Tigers going to make the wild card?
No. I mean, they're going to win tonight. I got a big play on the Scoop Bowl the first 5 innings. I love. I've been riding him -0.5 a run. I pretty much take him every first 5 innings when he's pitching at -0.5, unless I'm already getting it at -120 or less. But to me, he's going to win
he's going to win that.
I think if he wins, even if he enters right now, I think he's going to win the Cy Young for the AL.
I think so too. I do think
he's
so
that.
too.
I think he's that far ahead. I think Chris Sale's probably pretty similar in the National League. I think both of them are I don't see there's a whole lot of competition after that.
There's 21 games left for the Tigers. They're 5 games out of the wild card, and Minnesota is falling. And they have to play, and Minnesota and Kansas City are the 2 in front of them, and they have to play Kansas City once.
So just assume those teams go 2 games below 500 in their last. That means the Tigers would have to win basically 15 or 16 of their last 21 to make the playoffs. And those are rough numbers,
I think they got to win.
Do they play any head to head with those 2?
Just Kansas City 3 games. Their schedule remains like Oakland. They play a set in Oakland, then they play in Oakland, then they come home and play Colorado for 3. Then they have to play Baltimore. Then they have a 3-game set in Kansas City, and then they have to play Baltimore, Tampa, and the White Sox to finish the year. They could totally beat Tampa and the White Sox and sweep out. And Baltimore, depends on Baltimore is going to be hard because we play them twice. That's going to be rough. I'm just saying. What you're saying is there's a chance.
I mean, there is a chance.
Grand slam in the 9th inning to beat the Padres last night. Grand slam.
I think I'm a Reds fan. I'm similar as that. I'm just glad that we're in past years that we were close at this time of the year. I think that's the way Tigers fans look at it and be like, "Hey, we just
I'm a game above 500." Yeah, we're 71 and 70.
If you can finish 500 or above, I think it's a positive season there. I just think that's I think they're really.
Our guy Sean Higgs has a win total, I think, at 76.5 or something like that, and all season he's been telling me how it's dead. It's dead. It's dead. I'm like, it ain't dead till it's dead, and we'll see.
I would be shocked if they don't get that. I mean,
we're at 71 right now, so
yeah. I mean, you never know because they don't have a lot.
If they finish with an 80-win team, I'm gonna take that.
They don't have a big margin for error. That's their, and you can say that pretty much about any mid-market team now. It's you just don't have the depth because if you have a guy go down, it's not like you could just go trade for him or
right.
Just don't have that depth. And they're a young team. I think they're a year away, but I say that division's been way better. I thought the Twins were going to be bad or average this year. I knew the White Sox were going to be bad. I thought the Royals would be about 500. I thought the Guardians would walk away with that division, and they really haven't. I mean, it's
really not. I mean,
I thought they would win that division by 15 games. I just thought everybody else would just average. And they at one point they were they had the best record in baseball several different times, and then they kind of go on these little where they'll go 2-7 or something, and it's just tough on them. But I mean, this is going to be a crazy year in baseball. If right now you said you had to pick, and just no odds, just I'm going to give you even money, just go pick a team that's going to win it all this year. There's not even an odds-on favorite that I'm like, oh, this team can't deserves to be a minus or even a plus 110 type team.
Oh, Randy says the NFL rotates 9 home, 8 away every year for AFC, NFC, so they rotate.
Right, but what do you do with teams that lose a game to go to London? because those are your home. That is a home game. So even if you
That
had
is a home
9,
game.
then you would have 8. So you might have 8. It's like, I know it. Over a 5 or 6 year period, it would all like fix
It
itself.
all evens itself out,
But,
right? But in the meantime,
I mean, I don't like. Someone was saying the Cowboys this year are going to bring in $1 billion.
Jesus.
Last year it was $750 million for in-game activities. That also includes like when they have the Cotton Bowl or any of the other events and concerts and everything.
Right.
But still, sales, and that also includes advertising and stuff like that. There's no other team that hits $700 million. But just think about it. If you divide that up and say a team makes $500 million and you divide that by 8 or 9 games and you lose, 30, 40, 50
Lose
million.
one. Yeah.
That's a lot of freaking money.
Yeah, that's a little chunk of change.
That's CeeDee Lamb's salary a year now. It's like,
I was just gonna say that's Prescott's extension.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the news here in Cincinnati, Jamar Chase is going to be a game time decision. It sounds like to play.
That worries me.
And not only that, Higgins did not play today. Did not practice today with the hamstring. So it's like, man, if you lose your 2 top receivers, I know that the Patriots aren't great and they got Brissett at quarterback, but it's like, I don't understand why they fight so much for these contracts. You know what a guy's going to make because you know what Justin Jefferson got paid. You know what CeeDee Lamb get paid. There's the money. He might get $1 million.
The market is the market.
Yeah, he'll get $1 million or 2, maybe one way or the other. But it's like over a 4 or 5 year period, that means nothing. And I know the guaranteed money is like usually the sticking point. What are you worried about? Just pay him what Justin Jefferson made approximately, or CeeDee Lamb in between there. And move on. And they're like, well, we're going to get it done at some point. It's like, well, if you're going to get it done at some point, why didn't you get it done this summer? So you would have practiced. And I really do believe, I think there's 3 teams in the AFC that can win it all this year. And I think the Bengals are one of them. So like, to me, it's like,
get it to get like, they're just not.
Maybe 4, I guess. I would throw the Texans in there as well.
I think the Texans are going to be real good though.
Although they have the sneakiest line opening week. The -2.5.
That's suspect.
At the Colts.
I keep going back to it.
Suspect. Like, I mean, you almost have to take the Colts money line. Like, it just feels like.
I know.
You're talking about a team that added a top number 1 type receiver. They get back their other receiver that was injured. They get back their running back that was injured. They added someone else on defense, right? Who was the defense? I can't remember. I mean, they added like 5 big players.
Right.
And they had an unbelievable year and won a playoff game last year. And you're facing Anthony Richardson that played, 5 games last year? 4 games?
5.
Didn't he play 3? Got injured.
He came back, and then he was
out for the year. So it's like,
maybe a handful. He played a handful of games. Yeah.
So basically, he's still kind of a rookie.
I think they have a lot of faith in him, and I don't think they think. I still think people underestimate Houston, and I think Houston's going to be dangerous. And I think the Jets can be dangerous in the AFC this year.
The Texans, like 81% of the tickets that were bet this is up through last Sunday. So obviously there could be, but it ain't going to come back down to 50-50.
No, I just completely took that game off my card. I'm not going to, because it's too suspect for me.
It is
like we were talking about these contests, which reminds me, that pool host, the contest, the NFL thing. You signed it. You're number 1 contestant. You have to put your picks in. But you're in there, whatever. Everybody's in there. We were talking about that. But like that was one of those games I wanted to do, Houston.
But think about this. It's the number 1. We're talking the last 5 years. The highest amount of ticket percentage-wise, a road team in any span of the last 5 years on week 1 is on the Texans. That is scary because
that's
usually
why I took it
the
off.
whole public is like, that's scary. The other 2 big games were the Bengals were.
Yeah, your Bengals are my survivor pick.
Ooh, that's scary.
I know.
Scary if Chase doesn't play. I mean, he did practice.
Jesus Christ. Thanks. That's not what I wanted to hear. But I just, I'm not good at. I don't do well in survivor plays, so I'm just taking what everybody else. Either 75% of my pool is going to be dead on week 1 with me. I'm not going to try and beat everybody week 1. And that's what I try and do in Survivor contest all the time. And they're free contests. Free Survivor contest. Going Rutgers game tomorrow with my cousin. They're -23 versus Akron. Can they cover the big number? Rutgers?
Remember Rutgers? Did you see Rutgers last week, what they did?
They
were running the ball, trying to score with like 30 seconds to go. So they score. And the total, they don't kick the extra point because the time runs out. And they needed the extra point to hit the total. So people were like flipping out, like, hey, you go to the point of trying to score, and then now I guess they don't give you the option in college football anymore. Like once you score, if you don't need the extra point, they don't kick it. So it was a big. But I mean, what is he doing running the ball against like?
I don't understand a lot of.
But Akron was great the first half against Ohio State and terrible the second half. I always worry about teams that play the big schools because they obviously don't have the depth and the size that others. Like I got to think they're pretty banged up playing against that huge Ohio State team. That would worry me this week.
You would imagine that Akron just feels like they just got the ever-loving whatever out of them, 2-a-days in the heat. I couldn't imagine that. And Rutgers,
it's not a bad travel for them because Ohio State to Akron's not that, or Columbus to Akron's not far.
You could bust that.
But then then you come back and you're probably 2 days of just licking your wounds kind of deal from injuries, and then you have to jump on a plane and go to New Jersey. So I mean, to me, that's a tough spot for Akron. I would imagine Rutgers probably covers that one, but that would be one of those games I probably play in game.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna live bet that. I want to see.
I would love if Akron scored first. Where instead of 23, now I get it like 16, 17, 18,
I was just going to say.
Like and then I jump on Rutgers and then they freaking mow them down.
Best case scenario is Akron gets the ball first and marches down the field and scores.
Yeah.
And then I could jump on Rutgers at plus like 19.
I don't like
under 21.
To me, I like 20.5. That's like my number.
Yeah,
unless
under
I'm playing,
that, yeah.
Unless I'm playing, Johnny Unitas type team. Against the Little Sisters of the Poor, then I'm like, okay, go ahead and lay that big number. That is
lay that. Yeah,
lot of points.
I want to get under that 3 touchdown.
I mean, Akron did cover last week. The line was 49.
I was just going to say it's probably not going to end up mattering, but
what did they lose by 46 or something?
44 to 7.
Yeah. So, and that was all in the second half, right? Wasn't it like 13-7 and a half or something like that?
Let me see. Yeah, well, they scored 7, 10, 14, 13.
Yeah,
that's
so
how
17-7 and a half.
So, 17-7 and a half, and then they
almost still covered.
Yeah, the second half was, 27-0.
That's yeah.
So,
I would say I'm just like if I go to a game, I want to have a bet on it just because it's just like sure. I want to have like an extra. The last game I went to that I didn't have a bet was the WNBA. Believe it or not, I was out in Vegas watch the Knights play the Capitals. I took my daughter to the Stanley Cup when they lost, and then the next day we went to the Aces game. Well, at that time, the Aces were owned partly by the MGM Group, and they were playing at MGM, so you couldn't bet them in the MGM sportsbooks. And I was at the freaking they play at the Mandalay Bay, so I'm at Mandalay Bay trying to bet. The night before it was. I forget what it was. Oh, I had the over in the NHL game, and it went over. And I was going to take my winnings, drop it on that. And the next day, I was going to drop it on to the because that was in the Warriors were playing something, and they all 3 won. But the in between game, I couldn't bet, so it screwed me up.
Can't bet with repeat. There, I'll tell you what. In this Rutgers game, side note, because if I was going to the game, I'd probably have like me and my teasers. I'd be taking Rutgers and the over because the over is only at 40. And I think if you think Rutgers is going to blow them out, they're going to score 40 by themselves.
They would need to score probably 37.
You know what I mean? So they're going to score 30-something. So over 34, Rutgers minus 17. I'm in for that all day. That minus 120, take my money.
I'm not a teaser guy. Every once, I tell you what I do like. If I'm going to play teasers,
I do.
If I play a teaser, I like it in the NFL a little more because I kind of feel like. And if I play him in the NFL, I want underdogs. Like, I really like this underdog.
I want to take the points up.
I want 7.5. I want 7. I want it to be, above double digits. Because
I've been giving this out all week. I've been
giving
giving this teaser out all week, a 7-point teaser because I needed the Commanders over 10.5. I know. Don't judge. I was typing fast. Ravens cash already. I got the Packers plus 9.5, and I got the Commanders. And that takes me to plus 126. So I like that. That's my teaser. We've been rolling with all week.
The Packers are, I think, the worry there. I actually think
the Packers are the worry for me here because if either the Packers win or
who's the rookie quarterbacks that are starting? Bo Nix and
Jaden Daniels for Washington.
Yeah, I actually think
I love that kid. David Delano gave him out on an NFL preview show with Sean Higgs for futures for Rookie of the Year, and I thought that was the best prop or the best future we gave out on that show.
Jaden Daniels?
Yeah, for Washington quarterback. I think that kid is the best quarterback to come out of the NFL. I think in 5 years he will be the best quarterback out of this class. Above Caleb Williams, above Bo Nix.
From what I hear, though, I think the two receivers are probably going to be the best chance to win. The kid from Ohio State.
I mean, they always are.
Harrison Jr. and then
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Him, and then the kid for the Giants, Neighbors. Is that,
yeah, I ain't worried about that kid. I don't think
those two. I think because those teams are going to throw him the ball a lot. They're going to be down and throwing the ball a lot.
He looked terrible in preseason, Neighbors. So
I mean that's what everybody's saying. To me, I think Bo Nix. If I was gonna bet of any of the rookie quarterbacks, I'd bet Bo Nix because I think Bo Nix is gonna have a really good year. I think he's. I kind of think, I mean, you're talking about a quarterback whisperer as a coach. So, and I think he's a pretty coachable kid. And I just think they're going to have a better year than people think. And I know
I think that. But I've been high on Washington and the Commanders all offseason. I think the moves they made in the offseason and
just because you're
the way they were scrapping, I think this year they're going to contend for a wild card.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
I
actually thought the last few years I thought
Giants are going to do this. The Cowboys and the Giants and the Eagles are like that Spider-Man meme where they're all pointing at each other. That's what those three are.
Well, and the Cowboys and the Eagles are both making the playoffs. The chance of three teams in the same team is, I mean, it's happened to AFC North a few times, but it's very difficult just because, you kind of those teams to be good have to beat up.
I don't think the Giants do, and I think.
Yeah, I don't think the Giants. I think the Giants and the Commanders could be two of the worst teams in football.
I don't think the Commanders. I'm not a believer in the Colts yet. I'm not a believer in them, so I think they could struggle. I don't know what Carolina's doing. They're the Chicago White Sox of the NFL.
I think the Colts were over 500 last year without their.
I think they're going to get worse.
They have really good coaching there. Look where they coached them up with Minshew last year, and I think Anthony Richardson's a much more dynamic catch. Now he's going to turn the ball over more. That's the one negative.
Can he stay healthy? That's going to be a question tag now.
Who's the backup there? They went out and got a pretty decent backup. Joe Flacco, right?
Joe Flacco, timeless wonder.
I mean, to me, I think the worst team in the league could possibly be Arizona because Kyler Murray always gets injured.
He can't.
I
don't know. I don't know about
Carolina could be the worst again. Or, we've seen quarterbacks that were highly drafted quarterbacks struggle their rookie year and then kind of get it right. Look what he did in college. I'm not granted he's playing with the best players in free college, but right. Still, I would be shocked if Carolina isn't a little better in a very easy division. I don't think Tampa Bay made it last year just because they were they were the best of the worst in that division.
Well, you think about the Browns because I think they could go away. I think Deshaun Watson doesn't finish the year.
I hate the Browns, being a Cincinnati.
I know, but they don't have Nick.
I don't think Deshaun Watson's going to be the quarterback very long because he's always.
I don't think he finished the year. I don't think. Nick Chubb's out 4 or 6 games.
At least 4.
At least 4 to 6 games. So, and that's.
But they have a good offensive line. They ran the ball well without them last year. They have the best defense, if not top 3 defense in the league. Those teams don't usually just drop off face earth. Now, in the league, you can go from 8-9 wins to 5 or 6. But I'm talking about the worst in the league. I think it's probably going to end up with 3-4 wins. And I would say Carolina, the Giants, Washington, Arizona, and Oakland. I forgot, or Vegas. I forgot to mention them.
You think Vegas is going to have a bad year, huh?
Yeah. Oh, Hunter Minshew. And I actually
first of all, stop hating on Gardner Minshew. Okay. First of all, Uncle Rico can toss that ball over that mountain over there.
Listen, okay? I love to bet on him. I love to bet on him because to me, it's not I love to bet on him because he's usually underdog. And he's the underdog kind of guy. I just don't think that's the guy that you're going to lead you to, a championship.
He's the guy. He's on your bowling team. He's on your softball team.
Yeah,
Gardner Minshew. You know what I mean? And like, hey man, you really playing the
I'm
NFL?
just saying,
Like,
the Raiders don't have a lot of talent either. I mean, they have.
No, Josh
Devontae
Jacobs
Adams
gone.
doesn't seem real happy.
Nope.
What's the
Although Brock Bowers,
Crosby's unbelievable. I will say that. I mean, he's unbelievable.
God, I wanted him to sign with the Lions when he like a year.
I mean, it's just. But the problem is you can't win with just like 2 or 3 guys on each side of the ball. You have to have some dudes like up and down the roster.
Yeah,
and they do not have that
now. Their offensive line is horrible.
I think it's a winnable division for like the Chiefs. I think the Chargers are going to be bad too this year. I think Harbaugh, he has a history of turning things around pretty quickly in both the NFL and college football, but they let their 2 best receivers go. And they're the guy they drafted, what's his name, Johnson or whatever, he can't catch the ball.
Can't catch the ball.
Can't catch the ball. Like no. I'm sorry.
And they're going to run the ball a lot, and they're going to wear the clock down, and he's. They
also lost. Where did their little running back go?
Oh, son of a biscuit.
I just looked that up the other day, and I still can't remember. Because I'm like, how did they let him go?
The little guy. I can see him
it's like
running.
Darren Sproles number 2. It's like
exactly.
Like the Chargers always have that guy. They always have
I can see him cutting and everything. I can see him running too. Whatever. Anyways, Washington. Did he go to Washington? Did he? I don't know.
Washington had the kid from Alabama that got shot or whatever. Like
Eckler,
yeah.
Eckler, Jason.
Where did he go?
Email Craig Trapp. He'll send you some swag.
He did not.
I don't know what it is.
I can't imagine he went to Washington.
Yeah, I don't.
The other team that could be bad this year, or they could be unbelievable. I'm staying far away from them till I get to see them.
Chicago Bears.
No, Seattle.
Yeah, I don't know yet. I didn't believe in them before with Geno.
2 years ago, I made so much money because they were always underdog, and Geno Smith but last year they were always favored.
And it sucked.
In fact, week
him
1,
and Brian Robinson. Yes,
I had him
right. Washington.
I had him. Last year, I had Seattle week 1, and they freaking lost outright to the Chargers. They could not protect them.
The Lions like the second week against Seattle, and they lost. Yeah.
To me, I just that Seattle's. Anytime you lose a Hall of Fame type coach, I just like that scares me.
How long before the Bears panic?
I think the Bears are going to be the Lions of 2020.
Yeah, they're a year or 2 away from that.
I don't think so. They went out and got veteran receivers and veterans. They really only have a rookie quarterback, and he's not like a guy that just only played 1 or 2 years of college.
35,000 years. Yeah, he's played 7 years of college football, I think.
No, I mean he started pretty much 2.5 years of college football. And when you watch him, if you just put like the long hair he looks like Patrick Mahomes the way he runs. And
my God! Don't start.
I'm not saying he's a poor man. At this point, he has to prove it. But the way he throws across his body and impromptu stuff. Now in the NFL, that can get you in trouble.
Right.
They figured it out in Kansas City very quickly. I mean, he's made the playoffs every year he's been a starter. But that's dangerous.
Well, Andy Reid just adapted around him. I do think the Bears. The
division went from, I thought last year, the easiest division in football.
No, it's a tough division.
I think the second tough division outside the AFC North. I mean, AFC North is.
I think Minnesota.
Every team is.
Minnesota's
the worst team in the AFC North is the Steelers. And if you said the Steelers win 10 games this year, I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked because they won it with bad quarterback play the last 2 years, and Kenny Pickett and who else started
I think they're better with Justin Fields.
Rudolph and I think,
Rudolph,
what's his name, has a calf injury again and didn't practice yesterday.
Russell Wilson, he's got tightness in his calf.
So I think Justin Fields might get the start, and that's a bad thing for everybody else because once Justin Fields gets on a decent team that doesn't ask him to just go do it all like they've done the last few years in Chicago, I think they'll be pretty freaking.
I think the Steelers could be all right. I think they're better with Fields than they are with Russell Wilson. I think football's past Russell Wilson, and he just doesn't know how to turn it off. But
I always think short quarterbacks got to have mobility.
He's already behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, once you lose that mobility, it becomes much tougher as your short guy. And we saw at the end of the year the end of his career for the Saints guy. Drew Brees.
Drew Brees. Yep.
Where his last
just
year,
immediate decline. Yeah. Fall off.
Which we do in all kinds of players. But like, I think, like guys that are up against it athletically, like the fall can be a lot quicker than a guy that's a freak athlete like LeBron James, where it's like dudes can probably play a little longer and just on just pure athleticism.
Fair enough.
But I do think the Lions are going to make the playoffs. I do think the Lions are going to make the playoffs, but I don't think it's going to be like, what's the win total? 10.5? I think 10. I think 10 or 11 wins. So that's right where it should be.
I'm gonna
they'll win the division with 10 or 11, but it'll be tight. I think the Packers are going to be tight with them.
I'll say this about this Lions team. I've been saying this. I think that their win total might be less than last year, but they'll be a better team. I don't think they'll win as many games as they do as last year, but they'll be a deeper, better. They're a better team.
They won close games in the NFL. That kind of like is a little. I won't say
it could go either way. What goes up must come down.
We saw the Vikings. They won all those close games. They won every game that was a less than a touchdown. Last year they were under 500. It kind of. It's kind of like turnovers too. So like if you had a ton of turnovers one year and all of a sudden you win games and all of a sudden you got to rely on those turnovers, that's tough to do on a regular basis.
So
I do think they're better on defense, and I think they'll try to protect their defense more with running the ball more, which means people might see like they're not scoring as many points, so that maybe they're not. It's like no. Like the goal is to win the game, not to score like
I think they're going to dominate the clock whenever they want, and I think they're going to run the ball up and down the field as much as they want. And if they do that, it obviously opens the pass game. I think that defense got better. Their pass defense was one of the worst in the league last year. I think it got better. I think the Lions and Dan Campbell has taken this team and progressively made steps year and year after year. Better steps. He's moving in the right direction. The direction last year was to win the division. They did that. The direction this year is to make it to the Super Bowl. We're going to go.
You went from being the hunter to being the hunted. And that is much tougher. I mean, you look at very few teams.
The road to the Super Bowl goes through Motor City.
The Patriots and the Chiefs are really the only two teams that have the last, in kind of the last, era of football, this era of football we're in, that has sustained it over a 5-6 year period. Most teams, it's up, down, up, down. I would say the Steelers have been just even. They're in like the middle of the pack. They just go 500 every year or one game above 500. But like most teams, they win 10 one year, then they go back down 6 or 7, and they, it's just, and it might be a year or two in there that they kind of go up and down. But I think the Lions
that's what makes the Chiefs
win the division. They just won. I still think the 49ers are going to be the number one seed in the NFC because I think their division's pretty easy.
I do, but I think they're going to fall off this year. I do.
Why?
I just
they
think
got everybody back. They got the best player in football. McCaffrey's the best player in football.
Kittle and Kelsey, I think, have to sooner or later start to slow down just a little.
But it really, like
Kelsey and Kittle.
The key to that team is McCaffrey, Ayuk, and Samuel. Those three guys are the big three for San Francisco. If those three guys are healthy, they're almost unstoppable because
Ayuk won't stay healthy because he doesn't want to be there.
Samuel has been the guy Ayuk's been very consistent. Hasn't missed many games.
Yeah.
It's been Samuel and McCaffrey has missed more games. So I think they're still going to be good because Arizona I don't think is going to be very good. Seattle could not be very good. The Rams I think are going to be good this year. I think
the Rams are their worst, or they're going to give them the most competition.
On the bettor's edge, I did pick an upset over week 1 for you. Sorry, Rams. Dude. I do. I always, but I mean, it didn't work out. I like
going to do it just like last year because I watched last year's bettor's edge when you guys all picked against my Lions.
I like the Ravens though. Last year, I thought the Ravens because they had they just lost to them in the playoffs. Same kind of thing, and Matt Stafford went back home again. I just kind of feel like, the Lions don't have to have this win. I kind of think that the Rams kind of need this win because if you're in a team with
the Rams need it, but is it big? So if the Rams come out of there with a loss, nobody's going to say nothing else. Right. They're not going to think anything else. But I think the Lions are that Ford Field is the new 12th man. That place is going to be just ridiculous. The roof's going to blow off.
I heard that they're passing wine and cheese around in that place. It's like, get out the violins and
because
you guys
are going to give them a pregame thing. They're going to welcome him. Yeah, they got a pre kickoff, like during warm-ups, they're gonna play some video. His wife's not coming to the game this time.
Puka
She's
Nacua,
mad. She's mad.
Puka Nacua and
Puka
Cooper
Puka
Kupp.
Tuka is gonna do great.
Those two dudes are like.
Let a good
I still
news.
don't understand why the freak did Aaron Donald retire? Did he just say, "Listen, I've printed enough money in my career. I don't need anymore"? Because the dude was still
man.
like, he was top 3 player in the league last year on defense, and he's like, "I don't want to play anymore." Like, what are you doing?
He just didn't have the desire. And I get, hey, Puka Hookah. I'm gonna welcome him to Terrion Arnold. Terrion Arnold, number 0.
I mean,
watch it Sunday Night Football.
Last year, that was the most unstoppable combination in football. I mean, it wasn't Cooper Kupp. It was Puka Nacua and Matt Stafford. I mean, they were some kind of crazy numbers. And, they're just like, he's hard to guard. He doesn't run by you, but he's somewhat physically runs great patterns. And it's like, you probably have to put your number 1 guy against Cooper Kupp. But a lot of those times he was getting the number 1 guy because Cooper Kupp was hurt.
Well, you got to pick your poison, right? Kupp or Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua, and you can't do both. A lot of teams defensively cannot double both. So you're going to have Terry.
Or you don't have the personnel to even like match up one-on-one.
Well, what you're going to do is you're going to have Brian Branch, Terrion Arnold on one side. Now that we drafted Terrion Arnold, and then you're going to let Kirby Joseph beat the hell out of Cooper Kupp. That's what we're going to do.
They've been trying to do that for years.
I'm just saying.
Like that dude is
that's
like
the game plan, LA Rams. I know you're watching, Matt Stafford. I know you're watching. That's our defensive
here's
game
the deal.
plan.
Here's the deal. It's in New Orleans this year, the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, I'm on my way.
Okay. The Bengals are going to be there. So you get there.
Okay. I'll tell you what. If the Bengals
go.
and the Lions play in the Super Bowl, I will gladly meet you there, and we will both attend on your dime, and I will love it when the Lions.
We'll get somebody to tape it. We'll pay somebody else to go too.
Oh my God, it'll be content crazy for us.
And tape the two of us.
I don't know if we want that on video, Craig Trapp. I don't know if we want us in New Orleans on video.
There might not be enough Jack Daniels and Bud Light there.
Oh, there's definitely not enough whiskey in that town. And there'll be seances, and it's a spooky town.
Every other year, like the Bengals are going to be in the Super Bowl pretty much every other year, rest of Joe Burrow's career. So
listen, though in New Orleans, I get you. Jeff Daniels, he's the purpose. He's the reason the Lions are good right now. Him and Peyton Manning did a seance. They released the demons at Ford Field, and they burned a bathtub full of whiskey. And they like the curse of Bobby Lane or something. So we're going New Orleans.
You want to know why you guys are good? You guys quit drafting really bad players. Like you guys.
There's so many reasons.
Like
I'll tell you what. The main reason is Sheila Ford-Ham. She took over. Sheila Ford-Ham took over.
First of all, you got to get the quarterbacks. Like, to be honest, the trading of Matthew Stafford really kind of because
that was the beginning of That's the beginning of the end for that era of football for the Lions.
Like it was going to be like
started a brand new. It
was a much. They saved a ton of money, and they got a serviceable
picks.
Quarterback that wasn't like going to turn the ball over as much. That's like
that was always Matthew Stafford. Same level of talent and draft picks and saved money. It was a good deal all the way around.
Rams it was great for both teams. Yeah, it was great for both teams, and Matt Stafford would have never won a championship there. He would have been. I just don't think he would have. It would have worked.
We wouldn't have gotten the opportunity of the draft picks to surround him with the talent without getting rid of him. So it was a good. It was all the way around.
Like this is a year for the NFL that I think usually I think the NFC. I know I was right last year. There was only 3 teams that could have made it to the Super Bowl last year. I did not have the Lions, but the other 3 all were in the last 4. And then last year I said it could be the Chiefs, the Bills, or the Bengals, and it was one of those 3. I think this year it's maybe a little more wide open in the NFC. I still think the 49ers are class, but I don't believe the Eagles are like where they're not at that level they were, what I believe at the beginning of last year.
Yeah, I think the
Packers are better. The Bears are better.
I think the Lions leapfrog for that number 2 in the NFC.
I think the Cowboys are better, which I think all the people that are like, this Cowboys team is dangerous. Like because
I don't see any danger on the offensive side of the ball. I see it all on the defense. Which defense wins championships?
CeeDee Lamb, he was the number 1 receiver in football.
That's it. Just give me
Dak
another
Prescott
threat.
put up crazy
Just
numbers
give
last
me
year.
one
Now, I will
other
say
player
that
person besides
last year,
CeeDee Lamb.
they
What
couldn't
happens
run
if
the
he
ball.
goes down?
They couldn't run the ball last year, which is like they got to be able to run the ball.
They ain't gonna be able to run the ball this year.
I think the Cowboys are the 5th best team in the NFC, and like I think they can win their division, which is always if you win your division, you get a home game. So
Well,
like
you're
home
in.
playoff.
Yeah,
game. So
yeah.
That's the key. And to me, I think they're a little better than the Eagles now. I don't think the Eagles are bad. I just think
now you could make an argument either way for them.
they I thought the Eagles. I think last year I had them as the best team in the NFC, and then 49ers. In the first half of the year, they were the best team in, I think, football, the Eagles. And then the last half, they weren't even in. I mean, to be honest, they almost missed the playoffs. So,
does Jason Kelce at the center position worry you with the Eagles losing him or him retiring?
No, not that. I mean, it does on like short yardage. I mean, that dude, the
push thing.
the tush push with him was pretty much unstoppable. They did stop it in the playoffs, which ended up costing them the game. But just these guys get old. It's like they just get banged up. I think like if he had came back this year, I think he would have fallen off a little bit, and he knew that. And he got that big deal with Amazon, like his brother at the Heights podcast. So
I mean, he
$100 million over 5 years. Yeah, now they're going to make as much as they. So that's why I think Kelce, Travis Kelce, I think will retire after this year. I believe. Especially if they win a Super Bowl, I think he'll walk away.
How do you win 3? Why can't you win
30,
4?
Well, he'll be 35 though, right? Or 34. It's like, and like, I mean, you got a girlfriend that's worth billions of dollars. It's like,
he does not need the money. Money is he's
they
not.
Just signed the Heist podcast. It's like I don't know. It just seems like at some point you're just risking your kind of health.
Good question. You think the Saints can be sneaky? It's a horrible division.
I still think the Bucs are the best team in that division, but it's not like the Bucs are like
running away with it.
They're not heads and shoulders. Like Baker Mayfield almost didn't win the starting spot last year, if you remember. And all of a sudden, he did have a very good year, but especially for what the expectations were. But the Saints, I think, were the favorite to win that division last year. They basically have the same team back.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It just –
I don't like that division at all. It's dirty, man.
Like, if you said Carolina won that division and was like 8-9, I would not be shocked. I wouldn't like – it would be like – I think that whoever wins that division is going to win 8 or 9 games.
I was going to say, whoever wins that division probably won't have a winning record.
It'd be right.
I don't think they'll be 9-8. I think they'll be 8-9.
Now, or maybe they win 10 games because they sweep their whole. They go 6-0.
Yeah.
I think Atlanta's the favorite, right? Atlanta's the favorite to win that division because they made all those moves. But
because Kirk Cousins,
the teams that make those big moves, other when the Rams made the big moves and won the Super Bowl, it usually doesn't work out. Usually, you go out and just win by free agency, trading. That doesn't work out because it takes years to put the pieces together and stuff. But
absolutely,
I kind of would give Tampa Bay the edge. I just think I do love it. If you said, hey, you're playing fantasy football and you can just get one team, Atlanta's a team that you wouldn't mind picking.
Why would you not? Yeah, they have weapons all over the place, but I don't know if they're going to put it together. I'm still wanting, Kirk Cousins coming back up to ACL or not ACL.
I heard that it's not that big of. It wouldn't be a shock that Penix, right?
Yes, Michael Penix.
Michael Penix, that he ends up
winning that job.
Like that it wasn't that far off. That he had a great camp.
Well, they just
which he's like he played in college.
Money.
Why do you
pay
Kirk Cousins
all that money and then you draft him? I mean, I get your draft the future and all that, but
I thought
there's not the future next year.
Not a lot of people thought Penix could be an NFL starter. I don't think they maybe like a backup type guy or like maybe a couple years.
Really?
No one thought he was going to be. But he was great at Indiana. I mean, they were winning in Indiana. Go figure.
Right.
And then he was great at Washington. He doesn't have the biggest arm, but he's pretty accurate and seems to be a pretty smart guy. So,
but I think
Kirk Cousins
in the NFL, you don't need to have the biggest arm. You need to be the smartest guy. You don't want to have the biggest arm. There's plenty of quarterbacks that have made a very good, talented career without having the biggest arm.
Name one.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady had a
weakest
ridiculous
arm in the NFL. Weakest Super Bowl arm.
No.
Weak.
He probably threw the best deep ball in football.
That's why him and Randy Moss won how many Super Bowls? None.
Look at the numbers he put up with Randy Moss. Though he never had great receivers.
Weakest arm ever.
I think he always threw short because he didn't have great great deep weapons, so he threw a lot of short balls. But I think he has a big arm.
I don't think.
I would say if you said a guy that doesn't have a big arm, I would say Drew Brees.
Drew Brees, Baker Mayfield. I don't think he has a big
arm. And also
arm.
think, what's the lefty that played, has a million kids at San Diego? He played for the Chargers.
Oh, yeah. Didn't he? Oh, God, why can't I think of anybody's name? He has 12.
Yeah, like 12 kids with the same wife, by the way.
Huh?
With the same wife. He has 12 kids.
Yes.
And he did not have a big arm. He didn't have a big arm.
Oh, no. He did not.
I would say Boomer Esiason didn't have a big arm. But those aren't the norm anymore. There's not a whole lot of Justin Herbert.
No, Justin Herbert. That's the current quarterback. No. Former
not Drew Brees. Him and Drew Brees were that's why Drew Brees got traded to the Saints, because he took the
he went from there to I just Googled.
Anyway, I would say Phillip Rivers. I would say
Phillip Rivers.
Those guys,
former Chargers quarterback.
Penix probably would have a bottom 10 arm in football, I'm guessing. Starting wise, he would be in that bottom third. There's basically 30, so you divide them into 30.
Yeah.
I mean, there's guys like Josh Allen that is arm talent for days. Could do anything you want kind of thing. Justin Herbert, same thing. Got us ridiculous arm talent. Trying to think who's the other one. There's one more that's just ridiculous.
I think Jared Goff's one of those. I think Jared Goff's one of the most underrated.
Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford has ridiculous.
Matt Stafford has
ridiculous.
Matt Stafford has a bigger arm than Jared Goff, but Jared Goff's more accurate.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Stafford's one of those guys that doesn't even take a step and can just flick it.
But he had Calvin Johnson for years, so he's just chucking it. Nobody realizes that we got Matt Stafford.
I would say Joe Burrow.
We went 0-16.
Probably bottom half. Joe Burrow's probably in the middle of the run as far as just arm talent. Maybe he's a 10th or 15th. But he is ridiculously smart and accurate. And
that's what I'm saying.
I'd rather call him Joe Cool for a reason. But you got to have those middle of the run guys. I don't think Penix quite has that. And they've got some guys that can absolutely fly out there. So to me, it's Kirk Cousins is going to have a big year if he's healthy, I think, because, they got some guys that can go. All right. I didn't plan on to be this long, but I can talk football. I can talk football all freaking day.
Yeah, until the game kicks off. What do you got to plug before we leave?
I got 2 best bets tonight. You go to picksandparlays.net/Craig. You can get those or a subscription deal. I got a huge football season. Last 5 years, football's been – let me knock on some wood here. Shit.
Yeah, don't start talking. Right. Don't do that.
I've had some big seasons, and I think as you get older, and I'm not saying I'm old, but I'm getting there. The same age as Lenny, so I guess we shouldn't say each other's old. But as you get to this age of life, you realize less is more, and I continue to trim back where it's when you're making 8 picks a day like I used to. It's I've trimmed that back to where it's 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 on a really big college basketball. And on the weekdays, I would, used to fire away 5 to 7 picks. Now I'm 3 or 4 or 5 at the most. And I think that really has when you're going down to the 6th play and you look back and you lose, you're why did I play that game?
Yeah. So I just want action at that point. Yeah. And sometimes, the best bet is no bet. Right?
The best emails and texts I get when people buy and they have access to me and they message me is hey, what do you like for the Sunday night football game? I'm dude, if I liked it, it would already be out. I want to bet something. I want to watch the game.
I need action.
It's okay to not bet the game, but now I would say on those occasions, don't bet the sides or total. Do a player prop and just do something fun that pays better. That pays. You play a touchdown prop that pays plus 180 or something. So it's if you're right, at least give you a little.
My best, same thing last night. Wanted some action. I was on kicker props, over 1.5 field goals. Even though Justin Tucker missed that first one,
When they missed that, I said
I was starting to sweat a little bit. I'm oh, here we go.
As soon as they said he's the best kicker in history of football,
I just left the room. I'm oh, he's gonna miss. Yeah.
My daughter
promo code LENNY. Promo code LENNY 20 saves you 20% off all Craig Traps. Premium plays, best bets, picksandparlays.net. Good luck unless you're against us. I'll be back Monday. Go Lions. Take care, folks.
Go Bengals.
I'll see you in New Orleans.